Welcome to Blood Wash, where we believe there's power in the blood of Jesus Christ. And on today's broadcast, I have a guest, Will Johnson. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today. Will is my neighbor, and we actually met at Faith Church up in Anderson. And I brought on a basketball. Our church won a basketball championship here a year ago, and you used to play on it several years ago on the Faith Church basketball team. So this is a special one that I was coaching and playing, and so all the teammates have signed it on here. But I'm going to throw this to you and have you share a little bit about some of your sports to start out with, and then we'll get into your testimony after a little bit.
Well, last time I played at Faith basketball team, we were far from champions, but I'm glad that the foundation we set it up for you guys to be successful.
Yes, yes.
I used to run in high school, but that was 30 years ago and a long time ago.
Oh, you ran a little track or cross
I ran
country?
track and cross country, and my son's a senior this year, so it was great to see him running cross country. So it was a unique experience.
Okay. Yeah, you got 3 boys, and I've got 2 boys, and of course your boys are pretty close with my son Caleb, who sings a lot on the broadcast here, and I've got a little basketball court out back there, and they come on over and they play a lot, and my son with them, and of course I think we played a little bit of backyard ball ourselves there.
Yeah.
But so have you played a little bit of sports, just on the side besides that too, or?
Just like intramural leagues when I was in college, and just backyard basketball, pickup games.
Okay, all right. And you have a love for the Lord, and you love Jesus Christ, and we met at Faith Church, I don't know how many years ago it's been, but now did you grow up in a Christian home, or?
I grew up in a religious home. I grew up on the west side of Indianapolis in a place called Mars Hill. I mean, it was a violent neighborhood, and there's violence in my home. But I had a mother that would take me to church every Sunday night, used to pray over me. I hated that. I mean, as a child, every Sunday night she'd drag me down to the altar and just pray over me.
Your mother did?
My mother did, but that put a foundation in me that would save my life.
Okay. Now, did your dad go to church with you as well? Or?
My dad went as well, but my mom is the one that really just put that foundation in me.
Okay.
When I was a young teenager, there was an altercation with 2 older siblings at my grandmother's house, and one of my siblings ended up shooting and killing my other sibling in front of my grandmother. And that event train wrecked my whole family. But I just want to say God was able to intervene, and that's not the end of the story. So
Amen.
I'm just excited to tell people it doesn't matter where you've come from. It doesn't matter what's happened in your life, that God is always able to take the worst part of your life and make something out of it.
Amen. So you've seen some tragedy right in your own home there, and
Yes, sir.
I also lost a sibling when she was 17 as well. But so God was already starting to work in your life, though, and your mother has a big impact of bringing you to church and praying with you over at the altar, and so those seeds were being planted. But you didn't give your life to Christ as a youngster, though. It took a little while before you got to that point.
Yeah. After that happened with my siblings, I mean, there was just chaos in my home, and we started going to a church and started going to a local youth group because they had basketball.
Okay.
And those young men and women and in my youth group and the pastors and youth pastor just loved on me. And from a kid growing in a violent home, I mean, love was something that I wasn't used to, and that just reinforced what God was about to do in my life, because again, they continued to build a foundation in me that when I turned 19, 20, I got out of the youth group and became a young man. I just started making wrong choices and following different paths. But there came a point in my life that God just showed up and changed everything.
Okay. And we're going to talk about your unique conversion here in a little bit after the break here. I haven't sang in a long time on the broadcast here, but today I'm going to be singing a song called The Lighthouse. It was a song that my mom would have me sing and request quite a bit, and she passed away shortly before I started the broadcast, but she was very musically inclined, and she played several instruments, and my dad and mom made a record years ago, and I'm sure she would be very proud of of the broadcast there, but I'm going to sing a song called The Lighthouse. And the Lord is our lighthouse. He's been guiding our lives and shining a light ever since I was young and you were young. And then Caleb's going to sing, my son Caleb's going to sing a song too, but I'm excited to hear more about your testimony. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after 2 songs. My name is Roger Dismore, and I'm a broker for many Medicare supplement companies. So whether you're new to Medicare or you've been on Medicare and your supplement is getting way too high price, give me a call or visit my website. I've been helping people with their insurance needs now for over 12 years. So give me a phone call, visit the website. I'd be glad to see if I could sit down and help you and meet your insurance needs. God bless you and have a great day. There's a lighthouse on the hillside that overlooks life's sea. When I'm tossed, it sends a light that I might see. And the light that shines in darkness now will safely lead us all. If it wasn't for the lighthouse, tell me where would this ship be? And I thank God for the lighthouse. I owe my life to Him, for Jesus is the lighthouse, and from the rocks of sin He has shone His light around me, that I might clearly see. If it wasn't for the lighthouse, tell me where would this ship be? Everybody that lives around us, they say tear that old lighthouse down. Why the big ships don't sail that way anymore? There's no use of it standing round. Then my mind goes back to that stormy night, when just in time I saw the light. Yes, the light from that old lighthouse that stands there on the hill. And I thank God for the lighthouse. I owe my life to Him, for Jesus is the lighthouse, and from the rocks of sin He has shone His light around me, that I might clearly see. If it wasn't for the lighthouse, tell me where would this ship be?
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you, I worship you. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. 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 Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are.
My name is Roger Dismore, and I love drinking a good cup of coffee, and I love helping people with Medicare supplements. So if you're paying too much for your Medicare supplement, a lot of people don't realize that you can change your supplement any time of the year. So give me a call. I'd be glad to see if I can help you save a little bit of money. Many times I help people save money with their supplement and even give them better coverage. So give me a call. I'd be glad to help you out. Welcome back to Blood Washed. I trust you enjoyed those two songs there, The Lighthouse that I sang and a song by my son Caleb there. And on today's broadcast, we have Will Johnson. We go to church up at Faith Church up in Anderson there. And if someone is looking for a church, they're more than welcome to come there. We meet at 9:45 on Sunday mornings there. And we were talking a little bit, we were building up to some of your background of how you got saved there. You grew up, you said, like in a religious home, but wasn't necessarily a Christian home.
All right.
But your mom brought you to church, and she would bring you down to the altar and pray over you.
Every Sunday night.
Every Sunday night. Okay. Did you ever have any moments where you felt a connection with God at all, or were you just...
After the tragedy in my family, I mean, in my youth, going to church I did, but then once I became a young man, like in my 20s, just kind of got drifted away, you know, following what the world has to offer. And at one point, I found myself being 26 years old, divorced. I just didn't care about life. I mean, I knew enough about God to know that he's probably mad at me, that I was probably headed for hell, and I didn't care. And that's a scary place to be, because when you don't care as an individual, nothing matters. But the biggest lie the devil gave me was somehow, some way, I have went too far, I've done too much, that not even God himself would take me back. And you live in that kind of mode. I mean, anything's possible. You just become self-destructive. But like I was saying earlier, but God.
Amen.
September 11th, 1996, at 7:30 in the morning, I was sitting at a stoplight at 31 and stop 11. Just got off work, and think how short it takes for a light to go from red to, from yellow to red to green. My life changed because I pulled up at that stoplight.
Just that quick of a time, huh?
I pulled up at that stoplight, no thought of God, wasn't even looking for God. And his presence filled my car when I didn't even want him. I wasn't even looking for him. And I've struggled the last 20 years to try to figure out the best way to describe this, but it was like a wave of absolute pure love just washed over me. And I'm sitting there driving down the road and like just crying out to God, like, you love me? Look at me. I have nothing to offer you. And I started naming the reasons why God shouldn't love me. And I heard, not an audible voice, but in my spirit, I heard him say that I love you. You're my son, and I will not let you go. I will pursue you to the ends of the earth because I love you. And for a kid growing up in a violent home, I had never experienced a love so strong that it just melted every part of me. And I just remember driving home going, God, if you love me this much, I give up. I have nothing to give to you, but if you are that persistent, here I am. And
God was pursuing you and chasing after you, and up to this point, you weren't even thinking of God until you got to that stoplight.
I had went too far, that not even God could love me, that he was waiting to strike me down somewhere. And
I think that's a trick of the enemy, just trying to make some people think that you're too far gone, you're too far lost. But Paul even said that he came to save sinners, of whom I am chief, he says. So if he can say that, we're open up for the gospel, no matter where you've been, no matter what you've done. But you had somebody that had been praying for you, right?
Yeah, I'm down in Greenwood just coming home, and that's when God encountered me at that stoplight. So I went home and I called my friend Jonathan, and I told him, hey, John, you ain't gonna believe this, man, but God showed up, and I'm crying over the phone. And John starts crying. He's like, Willie, he's in Anderson, so he's an hour away. He's like, God woke me up at 6 a.m. to pray for you. He was at his dorm at Anderson University, and God woke him up. He got out of bed, and he just went outside and sat on a park bench. He just cried out to God, God, wherever my friend is, you got to show up. Wherever my friend is, you got to make yourself real to him. Wow. Boy, did God answer.
Wow.
Because, so even for me.
God impressed that to him that morning to get up and pray for you specifically. And so he was an acquaintance or a pretty good friend of yours?
Pretty good friend of mine.
Okay.
And
for
he's
a believer.
Yeah.
And he knew you weren't.
And that just really solidified it for me, because I'm going, wait a minute. I'm in Greenwood. John's in Anderson. Woke John up at 6. Here I'm at 7:30. I'm like, this is God. There's no other way to explain what just happened in my life. And in the 22 years since, God has just put my life back together. And I'm overwhelmed with what Paul wrote in Romans, where it says, I'm convinced that neither life nor death, nor angels nor demons, nor anything past, present, or things to come shall separate us from the love of God, because there's this passionate love of God that will not let you go. Wow. And I'm living proof that he is.
Right. I think Paul talked about it, how there's nothing that can separate us from the love of God, no matter where we're at, whether we go down, I think even to into hell. God loves no matter where we're at, and no matter what we've done. The love of God is so strong, so powerful, that it just can reach down to someone who's not even looking for the love of God. That's amazing.
And that's the thing that, in all these years since, it keeps me coming back again and again. It's like when I sin, when I stumble, I get up and I just go to him because I know he loves me. At the end of the day, I know that I know that I know that I am loved by the King of creation. And if he loves me, that whatever the issue is, he'll resolve it. We'll work it out because I'm loved. And I think that's what a dying world needs to know is you can never go too far. It doesn't matter where you are, where you've been. There's always a way home.
What the amazing thing, is I've been reading through the Bible this year, trying to finish it up in a year's time here. But anyways, just reading about Jesus and who was the one that he was coming to. He was coming to the sinners. He says, hey, those that are whole, they don't need a physician. He was coming up, these people that, a woman taken in adultery. And he says, I'm not here to condemn you. He says, I forgive you, go and sin no more. So he came to all these people that had sins and they were looked down upon by society. But he says, hey, I'm here for you. I forgive you, I cleanse you, and go on out and sin no more. So it doesn't matter what people had done, Jesus' love was there for them,
About a month ago, I just started praying like, God, can I just see you? Jesus, can I just see you?
Yeah, you've had an experience here not too long ago.
And in a dream, I woke up in my house and I walked in the kitchen and there's Jesus. And I saw him face to face and he looked at me and he was smiling and I'm just in awe that like, I see you. And it was the most, it seemed so real. And to see the King of creation looking at me and smiling at me. As I was just standing there in his presence, it felt like just these waves of love and peace just began to just flow out of him. And it kept kind of knocking me back because just wave after wave. But it was just the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. And if that's anything like heaven will be, we're in for a great adventure.
Yeah, on another broadcast coming up here, I sing a song called What a Day That Will Be, When My Jesus I Shall See. And there's I don't know if you ever heard of a songwriter named Fanny Crosby, but anyway, she was blind during this lifetime. And many of her songs were about singing about seeing Jesus. And I thought, the very first person this lady is going to see is Jesus Christ. Wow, what an amazing
awesome.
thing. And the love. So you had an experience there at home there where you saw Jesus at your home.
Yeah.
Was it something you were expecting, but it was just kind of like a vision?
Yeah, like a vision, but I mean, I was...
But real in a way too, huh?
Yeah, I asked to see, and then I woke up the next day like, God, I saw you. And again, just a whisper like, you asked to see and you've seen. Jesus said, seek me, you will find me. And if God will answer the prayer of a young man who grew up in Mars Hill, he'll answer anybody's prayer. I mean, just seek him, you'll find him.
That's a promise in the Word. It says, if you seek me with all of your heart, you will find me.
He's not lying.
And that's what some people, they just don't seek hard enough, But if he's promised, he will show himself up. He'll make himself real. And, he's made himself real to me. I just live right next door. And, I heard him coming down the driveway and come through my front door, just the Spirit of the Lord, and touched me and changed my life, about 5 years ago. And so we know that Jesus is real, and he's made a change in our life. We've got something to live for. And have you been used at all in any type of ministries in your lifetime, or?
Just whenever I get the chance. I mean, I haven't.
You share Jesus.
I share Jesus because, again, we're surrounded in a world by people who have no hope. I mean, they've been lied to that they've gone too far and they've done too much, And I just want to encourage people who, whether you're the family member that's praying or the person that's lost, just pray. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is Daniel chapter 10, 12. Daniel had been praying for something all day. For 3 weeks. And it said one day Daniel went to pray and there was an angel standing in front of him. And the angel said, "Mighty esteemed man of heaven, from the first day that you humbled yourself to know your God, your prayer was heard. I was sent on the first day." So if you're the mom or dad that's praying for that lost child, keep praying because your prayer was heard. And if you're the person who thinks that you've gone too far, I'm living proof that it just takes one encounter and he will change your eternity. I have a granddaughter that's 1.5 years old, and it melts my heart every time I see her, because if it wasn't for what God had done 22 years ago or 23 years ago, she wouldn't be here today. And I see this girl who's living and breathing, who will always be, because God intervened in her grandfather. And I'm just humbled by a God who not only has saved me from hell, but have given me a life that's worth living. He's restored my life. I have an awesome wife and 3 awesome boys that I'm just in awe. And what God has done to me, where once my heart used to be full of anger, there's just peace. And if God will do that to me, he'll do that to anybody.
Well, we're just about at the end of the broadcast here, and it's sure been a pleasure having you on here.
Thanks, neighbor.
And yes, neighbor. And you've been some great neighbors. It's been a pleasure having you guys nearby there and having the fellowship of your boys and my sons there, and or mainly my one son. My other son's in Tennessee now, but I just thank God for what he's done in your life, what he's done in my life, and I just want to say thanks for watching the broadcast, and I hope you tune in again soon.
Thank you for watching Blood Washed with Roger Dismore. If you would like to contact Roger, please visit rogerdismore.com or call 765-524-2558. Roger would love to share the Word of God with you. Join us for Blood Washed on WHMB TV 40.
My name is Roger Dismore, and I'm a broker for many Medicare supplement companies. So whether you're new to Medicare or you've been on Medicare and your supplement is getting way too high price, give me a call or visit my website. I've been helping people with their insurance needs now for over 12 years. So give me a phone call, visit the website. I'd be glad to see if I could sit down and help you and meet your insurance needs. God bless you and have a great day.